Hey, howdy, hey, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be reviewing RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars 10, Episode 8. I apologize, I did miss Episode 7. No shade, but Bracket 3 is a little bit of a snooze fest in comparison to Bracket 2. But I'm back at it, and I will be reviewing the rest of this season. I apologize. But let's get into this episode. I do want to say before we do, actually, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Become part of the Amateur community. Ding! You can also follow me on my other social media platforms at Samateur on all platforms. Do not send hate to any of the queens mentioned in these videos, because that's not what these are meant for. These are meant for us to have a fun time here on this side of the interwebs, talk about all things drag race, and have a cute little kiki. So, with that all being said, we are going to get into this review. I did get a new mic, however, I'm not able to use it. Sad. I wanted to use a handheld mic, so it could be like, wow, wow, wow. That was not meant to look that way. Anyways, yeah, new mic. Hopefully, will be connected soon. I am using a good mic now, so it's fine. I just like the idea of a handheld. So Queens come back in the workroom after Daya and Ginger lip synced. Ginger won. Again, not to throw shade at Ginger, this season is going to be Ginger Minge favoritism down. You cannot convince me otherwise. I do not think Ginger should have won last week. Again, no shade. I personally don't think Ginger should have won. However, here we are now. Ginger has 3 points and Diet has 2 points. So that means there are 4 points to split up between Denali, Acid, Cynthia, and Alyssa. Why couldn't I think of Alyssa's name? Anyways, they're trying to figure out who gets what points. Are they going to be congenial? What's going to happen? Who thinks that they're going to be congenial? And it's no shade, but this is boring. Y'all. Also, I want to take screenshots of this because I saw people pointing this out on Twitter. Denali seems to have recorded some of her confessionals at a later time than the original recording. I'm not saying she is in the next bracket. I'm just saying it's interesting that if you can follow her hair length throughout the episode, you can see it at different lengths, which tells you that there has been a period of time passing between the confessionals that Denali has filmed. Again, I saw this online. This is not my original noticing thing, but it's kind of wild. And we'll be clocking in throughout the episode. Denali, Daya, and Ginger come back in the workroom, and also now the points are all displayed, right? So people have to give out points. It's gonna be congenial. Oh wow, Daya. Well, Acid and gives her point to Denali. Cynthia gives her point to Alyssa. In between partners, everyone ends up with a point. Lovely. I want some drama. I want something fun. I am bored. No shade. So this is where the points are. Everyone except for Daya and Ginger have 1 point. They have 2 points for Daya and 3 points for Ginger. It is what it is. New day in the workroom. Ginger has a target on her back because she has 3 points, I guess, but production's gonna favor her anyway, so does she really have a target on her back? Also, what is this target gonna do? It's not like people can take away her points. That would be fun if they introduced a new element and let people take away points from other queens and give them to them. Ooh, that would be fun. That would be fun. Like, find a way to get one of the queens to be able to take points away from Ginger and take it for themselves. That'd be fun. I would love to watch that. I want some drama, and we're not getting any drama. Oh, look, she fits in the star. Rumail. What's gonna happen? We get a mini challenge of related to Clueless, because it's Clueless's 30th anniversary. So they all have to get in share Horowitz from Clueless Drag in Quick Drag in 20 minutes and do a photo shoot. And also read lines. It's a fun mini challenge. It's cute. I don't have too much to say about it personally, but it was fun. It was cute. Who do you think deserved the win? Let me know. They all do their own individual photo shoots. At one point, Daya eats lipstick, because why not? And yeah, we get photos. That's basically what happens. I really don't have much to say about this episode. Like, it was fine. It's just like, it's. Denali's doing fun poses. Sure. Okay. We're almost out of this. The winner of the mini challenge is Denali. Yay! And Denali wins $1,000. Cool. Fun. Groovy. RuPaul introduces the main challenge, which is going to be a stage coochie epic performance. So they have to get in groups and do country songs. Yes. There are two songs that they're choosing between. Daya and Denali both won their girl group challenges on their respective seasons. So they're like, oh, we're fierce competition. Again, following the hair journey, you can tell here Denali's hair is longer than it was during the episode, which is also telling us that this was filmed later. Again, like I said, we're going to be following it throughout the episode and throughout the season, honestly, throughout this bracket. So we have the two songs, Key Your Car and what's the other one? Trailer Hitch. Sure. So ultimately, they kind of pick out what songs they all want. Everyone except for Cynthia wants Trailer Hitch. And right off the jump, Alyssa is showing that she's disappointed because she feels unconfident performing in English and then not being able to pick the song that she's performing. So I get where Alyssa is coming from. I get it. I also don't think you necessarily need to do a country accent. Let me know what you think down below. Am I reading too much into that? I don't know. But ultimately, Ginger's like, oh, well, I do country music, so I'm just gonna switch over to the other song, Key Your Car. And then also, Daya does too. So we end up with the final groups of, Daya, Koku, and Ginger performing Key Your Car. And then, Acid, Denali, and Alyssa performing Trailer Hitch. So those are the groups, right? We get them all writing down their lyrics. Also, Ginger talks about how her and Cynthia were both in Rocky Horror. Again, if you've been following my channel, you know I'm a big Rocky Horror fan. I have a Rocky Horror tattoo. I don't know if you can see it. I apologize. See? Rocky. It's actually Frankenfurter, but it says don't dream it, be it. I was doing Rocky Horror actually in college for 4 years. All 4 years in my residential college, I did Rocky Horror. So shout out to Ashby Residential College Rocky Horror Troupe. That was a lot of fun. I miss it. Love Rocky. So this was great, learning more about them. Other group is writing lyrics. Denali's like, I'm very confident because this is what I do. Acid's like, why weren't you able to write the script for last week then? And Denali's like, well, that's different from music writing. Script writing is different. That's what it is. They're recording lyrics with Orville Peck and David Steinberg, who's a composer. So everyone records their verses. Overall, they all do pretty well. I'm shocked by Cynthia's voice. She has an amazing voice. Like, it's so good. Not to say, again, continuing the hair journey of Denali. You can also see it here. Acid. I love Acid's outfits. Acid's workroom outfits are some of my favorites, and I want to wear a jacket like that. I want a jacket like that. That's very cool. Acid, I love it. Denali does her verse. Yes, it does. The one thing I do want to point out is the fact that Alyssa recorded her verse. They showed her recording her verse multiple times. The first time it sounded like Kermit the Frog. They ended up using the Kermit the Frog audio, which I thought was interesting when they had another recording of her vocals without that. And it seemed like they ended up picking that anyways because they wanted that narrative to continue on into the judging. Just just noticing. Just noticing things. I thought that was interesting. Again, Acid tells her to drop the accent and just do it, like just be Alyssa. And she does it. Sure. Choreo happens. The first group between Dia, Ginger, and Cynthia isn't as smooth. It's a little Dia's trying to lead, but then everyone else kind of puts in their own opinions. It gets a little messy. Again, we're only seeing a short portion of the choreo because after filming, they also have time to rehearse it, make sure they get the dances. Like I always say, we're seeing a very short clip down version of what actually happens. So I do think that's always interesting. And then the other group, Denali's leading very smoothly. Honestly, Denali's very confident in what she's doing in terms of choreo, and they all seem to follow her pretty well. No one's too upset about Denali taking over. Yeah. New day in the workroom. How are you giving up your points? How are you feeling about the song? Blah, blah, blah. That's what it is. Oh, I apologize. That alarm is annoying. Please tell me that copyright doesn't notice that song. I think I'm good. And yeah, they're recording the verses, feeling confident. Acid comes up with an idea of picking someone to give points to, and then they all give their points to that one person so that it's not just Ginger and Dia going on to the next round. And then they have some actual competition. And I think that's a really smart move. I am curious to see if people follow Acid's plan. If they continue and pick one person to give their points to, I will be curious to see how that turns out. Um, I don't know. I'm curious. And then also we have the other group with Ginger and Dia deciding what they're going to do with their points. I did notice something just earlier, and I wanted to point it out again. So in this group with Acid, we have Cuckoo, Alyssa, and Acid talking about points, right? And over there, we have Ginger and Dia talking about points. Who is Denali talking about points with? Why aren't they showing us Denali? I want to know what is happening here because I feel like they're picking what they're showing and they aren't showing the full story. So I am curious what happened with Denali. I did notice that she wasn't really included in any of these conversations, which is again just I. I understand they have a story they want to show, and they want Ginger to be the main character. That's what it is. So I, I want to know what's going on. All right, we're on the main stage. We're gonna do a quick fab or drab of the judges. Again, on this channel, we do fab or drab. Very straightforward. If it's fab, baby, it's fab. And if it's drab, it's drab. Up first we have RuPaul. I like it. I like the outfit. It gets a fab. The hair's kind of wild, but hey. Michelle looks good. Michelle looks really good. I like Michelle's outfit. Ross looks nice. And Jamal looks great. Jamal gets a fab. Yeah. They all look nice. Stage Cooch. Let's get into these performances. Up first, we have Gear Car. And we're starting out with Cynthia Lee Fontaine. I thought Cynthia's verse was great. In terms of her choreo, I don't think she was as expressive as some of the other queens, and I think that's a little bit of what got in her way. I think if there are certain queens like Ginger, I have to give Ginger some credit. She knows where the camera is, and she will make that camera look at her. Her face is so expressive. Like, it's great. It's great for lip syncing. It's so good. And also, she puts on a character and really fully embodies that and really presents the best, I think, of this group. So, in terms of this week, I do think Ginger deserved the top placement. Again, we'll get to placements later. But Cynthia was fine. Di, I liked a lot. I liked her verse. She was moving a lot. It was a little bit hard to get screen grabs for Di. Like I said, I feel like Ginger very much will get the camera and get it to look at her and express a whole lot in her face, which is very nice in terms of a reviewer for me to be able to get screenshots. There are lots of opportunities. I feel like other queens don't give it much face, and I think that is something that really works in Ginger's favor. Like here. Like, what? She's funny. Alright, second group. Let's go. Up first, we have Acid Betty. They're lip syncing, performing Trailer Hitch? Trailer Hitch. Yes, Trailer Hitch. Acid was fine. The choreo was not groundbreaking. The performance was fine. I did not love her verse. For me, it was fine. It was fine. It was nothing like super groundbreaking. Yeah. Alyssa did not like. I'm sorry, I did not like Alyssa's performance. I feel like they ended up choosing the audio with her sounding like Kermit the Frog, which again mentioned earlier. I feel like that's a little shady. When she had another recording where she didn't as much sound like Kermit the Frog, and she just sounded like a Muppet. She sounded like a Muppet the entire time. Like I could not take her seriously. Denali ate it up. Denali ate it up. Denali destroyed. Denali was definitely the best in this group for sure. For sure. Yeah, Denali was fierce. I loved it. She was doing a lot of moves, but I think it worked well with her performance. Her her verse was great, and I enjoyed this a lot. Good job, Denali. And again, I'm not surprised by Denali. I mean, Denali killed it in her other challenge. You know what I'm talking about. The phenomenon. Phenomenon. Do 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 phenomenon. Okay. End of the performance. Let's get to the runway. Bring to the runway. Yes, yes. Runway category is Night of 1,000 Mileys. So all Miley Cyrus inspired looks. Up first we have Acid Betty. I love this. Acid, you look great. Love the hair, love the outfit. Again, it's taking that Miley look and then interpreting it in her own Acid Betty way in her own universe, which I love. The one thing I will say is in the chest, I like all the jewels and stuff, but I wish it was a little bit more three-dimensional and not so flat. Because that took me out a little bit. But I did like the look a lot. I thought Acid looked great. Yeah, Acid really killed it in my opinion. I really loved Acid's look. Yeah, fierce. Up next, we have Alyssa Hunter. I thought this reveal was unnecessary. I understand what she's trying to do because her outfit is very simple and she wants to elevate it, and this is one way of adding another element to the outfit, right? But I didn't like it. I'm sorry, I didn't like it. And then when it came to the actual look, Miley was giving more shape than Alyssa. No shade. No shade. I think Alyssa needs to. I would love it if Alyssa would pat a little bit, or maybe put on a boob, maybe put on some, just something. It's very flat. And I mean, don't get me wrong, you don't need like big old binoculars like Jimbo, but just something, to really bring it to the next level. Because this is very simple, and I think she's relying too much on the prop and also on the reveal at the start. The actual garment is not very exciting. No shade. I also think maybe that was just the look that she was given. Maybe she wanted a different look. Because if I remember correctly, on a previous night of 1,000 Beyoncés, they could only do looks from Getty Images. So if that is the case, maybe she wanted to do a different look. and was not able to, so maybe that's why she did this look. And for me, it was not my favorite. No shade. I think she was relying on the prop too much, and the reveal felt unnecessary. And I would love it if she brought the outfit to add in another element, bring it up to the next level. So for me, it's a little bit of a drab, unfortunately. Next up, we have Denali from the 2013 VMAs. I think they said. I remember when this performance happened and how controversial it was. I remember everyone blaming Miley, and then no one talked about Robin Thicke, who was also there, and he was the one who was married, and she was dancing on him, but then everyone was talking about Miley, and no one was talking about him, and I remember back in the day, when I was in high school, making a point about this to myself. It was a whole thing. 2013. That's crazy that this was 12 years ago. That's crazy. That's crazy. 2013. Anyways, yeah, I like the look a lot on Denali. I thought she did it very well. Definitely completed the full ensemble, the full story, the full reveal. It was all done very well. I thought Denali killed it. I really loved Denali's look. Yeah, Denali slayed. Even with a foam finger too. Like, come on. Yeah. Next we have Cynthia Lee Fontaine. Again, taking the look and then bringing in her own elements with it. I like this a lot on Cynthia. I love the coat, love the hair. I really like this look on Cynthia. You can tell it was inspired by this, but not being a replica one-for-one thing, you know? And I think if you are going to do a replica, you need to do it exactly. Otherwise, take in a full your own direction, which is what Cynthia did. And I thought this was great. So yeah, Cynthia killed it. I really like Cynthia's look, fab for sure. And I love the jacket. That jacket is everything. It's everything. I love that jacket. Cynthia gets a fab for the jacket alone. Like, that's so cool. And the hair, I like the hair. Next we have Dia Betty. Dia looks really good. I like the replica. I think it completes the assignment. Um, and she looks great. It's very Dia meets Miley, very much punk, like she was saying, but still Miley. I thought this was great. This gets a fab. It gets a fab. Yeah. Ginger Minge. I've been going back and forth with myself on this, and I've been trying to figure out if I don't like it because it's ginger, or if I just don't like it. I don't know. I feel like what I'm trying to figure out is if I would like it more on a smaller bodied person. I don't think that's an issue. I think it just I don't like it. I'm just gonna say I don't like it. I'm sorry. For me, it's a drab, unfortunately. Let me know what you think down below. Did you like Ginger's look? I want to hear from you. Let me know. Overall, though, it's a drab for me. Right. I also don't like the hair. I don't like the hair. Alright, now we get to placements. RuPaul announces that the top 2 of the week are going to be Denali. Yes. And Ginger Minge. Que sera? What a shock. Oh my god, Ginger's in the top again. Are you serious? I do agree with her placement this week. I think last week she shouldn't have been in the top, but I do agree Ginger should have been in the top this week. I think she slayed it. I will say. The performance-wise especially, like, it was great. So, top 2 are going to be lip syncing to See You Again by Miley Cyrus. First, they get points. So that means Denali has 3 points, Ginger has 5 points, Dia has 2 points, and Cynthia, Acid, and Alyssa all have 1 point. So they are lip syncing to See You Again by Miley Cyrus. Alright, so I've seen a few different opinions on Twitter and online in general. And I do want to hear from you. What are your thoughts? I think there are 2 different approaches people have. Some people were saying that Denali was doing too much and the song didn't require that. And other people were saying that the editing kept cutting away from Denali and favored Ginger. So for me, in my opinion, I think Denali won this. I think Ginger had great expressions, but she was really just walking back and forth on the stage. And I feel like Denali brought a lot more elements to the performance. Granted, it was a lot. She was doing a lot. But for me, I would have given the win to Denali. Let me know who you would have given the win to down below. I want to hear from you. Like, I do think they're both arguments are fair, but again, for me, I would have given the win to Denali. Ginger still did well, but I, I don't know. I would have given it to Denali. Hey, it is what it is. The end of the lip sync comes, and RuPaul announces that Ginger Minj is the winner. So Ginger now has 6 points. Wow, I'm so surprised. Ginger wins a lip sync again. Wow. So Denali does not get the extra point, and she's a little upset. I get it. So these are the final points at the end of episode 8 for bracket 2. Ginger has 6 points, so at this point she's continuing on to the next bracket. We can just say that. Denali has 3 points, half of what Ginger has. Like, that's crazy. Dia has 2 points, and Cynthia, Alyssa, and Acid all have 1 point. So I am going to be curious to see how the points all play out next week. It is the end of the bracket 3 next week, which honestly I'm excited for it to be over. I'm excited for the merge. I'm excited to see all the queens come together. I want to see Mistress and all of the queens interact. I just love it. So I will be curious to see how that all plays out. Also, keep in mind, they film the brackets in order, so when they come back, a large amount of time will have passed. So I will be curious to see how people change and all of the above. It's gonna be interesting. I think they filmed it after the finale of season 17, if I'm not mistaken. So it was filmed relatively recently. So I am curious to see how the merge goes and how all the queens interact with each other. There's going to be a lot of interesting things coming on moving forward. So that brings me to the end of this video. Let me know what you think about this episode down below in the comment section. Make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Become part of the Amateur Hour community. You can also follow me on my other social media platforms at Amateur Hour on all platforms. And yeah, I will be back here later with some more content. Bye, y'all. Ding! Ding!